All right, everyone, it's me. I'm back again. Whoa, hitting my knee on tables. I'm actually here. It's me, Lynn, back again to do another cosplay and convention story time. I'm not gonna lie, I tried to record this video 3 times this morning, and every single time my phone video kept freezing and then crashing the video so nothing would record. It was so frustrating. So I am back again. So crossing my fingers this time it actually works. But I'm actually going to do kind of a fun story time today. And if you guys saw my video that I very last uploaded, I was talking about my most awkward interactions at conventions. And today I am actually going to be talking about kind of the flip side of that, and I'm going to be talking about my most cringy and awkward cosplay and convention moments. So all of these stories are 100% on me, and they are pretty much the dumb things, cringy things, and stupid things I have done for cosplay and conventions, so enjoy my pain. So I'm gonna first start talking about outfit and costume fails, which all of you guys out there who have done costuming or cosplay know this pain. Everyone has made mistakes before and tried something out new, and then it went bad, and you know not to do it again. So anyways, when I was younger, I did make all the classic mistakes, but these 2 stories really take the cake. So my first story is back when the movie Sucker Punch came out. Now, if you guys have seen that movie, it's just this really fun, like badass female fighting movie. It's very kind of fantasy-like. The main characters are all women. They all have fun, cool outfits, fun, cool weapons. And as soon as I saw the movie, I just fell in love with it. I thought it was so cool. So of course, when Sakura-con came the following year, I knew right away that I wanted to go as Blondie from Sucker Punch. Now, Blondie is the character played by Vanessa Hudgens. We share the same hair color, which is why I wanted to go as her. And so my cosplay fail starts with the very classic mistake of I had no clue how to make her costume because she wears a fun little bodysuit with lots of like embellishments and stuff. And then, of course, just wears like normal tights, the normal boots, and has all these fun, cool like weapon holsters. So looking at her costume and thinking this is a little over my head, so I think I'm just gonna go online and buy it. So this was the first mistake I made, and typically when you buy a cosplay costume, you have to go to like a specialty website or something because you can't just type in like an anime character's name and like a million results come up on like ordinary websites. Like you're not gonna find a cosplay costume on like Target.com, or even the ones you find on Amazon can sometimes be kind of rare. So because the movie Sucker Punch had come out recently, when I went to go look up this costume online, I actually had like a million hits of where I could buy it, because it had come out in a bunch of Halloween costume stores as like one of the popular costumes of the year. So I thought, you know what, I'm kind of broke right now. These costumes are cheap, like they look good in the pictures, like it looks good on the model, so obviously it's gonna be awesome in real life. My first very dumb thought. So of course I go ahead and I order this costume. So it's just from like a Halloween costume website. It was under $40 with shipping. Like it was very, very cheap. So the other mistake that I made is that I ordered this costume so close to convention time that when I got it, it was only a week and a half before the convention, which is something you never ever want to do, because if you get your costume and it's not what you expect, it doesn't fit, doesn't look good, you just don't have time to fix it. You don't have time to, return it or reorder. Like it is what it is. So of course I have my best friend over, and I actually got the costume in the mail like while she was visiting. So I was like, ooh, yay, let's go to my room so I can try it on and we can see if it looks good. So I rush up to my room with my package, I open it up. I can tell right away it's kind of like a cheap costume. It's made with that really cheap like spandexy material that costume stores always use. So I'm just kind of like trying to hide my disappointment. I'm like, whatever, like I'll make it work. The accessories will make it look cooler, whatever. So I go to put it on, and it is it's like a bodysuit. It kind of looks like a bathing suit, the bodysuit part does. And I put it on, and I go to pull it all the way up, and I get my arms through the sleeve openings. And as soon as I go to pull it all the way on, I suddenly hear a horrible noise, and the noise was the costume ripping in half all the way from the butt through the crotch up to my belly button. So like literally the entire bottom part had just ripped all the way up. And I'm like standing there completely stunned, and my friend just breaks out in laughter, and she is laughing so hard she is like on the floor crying because it is so hilarious to her. And then I start laughing because I have no clue what else to do. And I'm just like stunned that this would ever happen. Well, it turned out the seams in the costume were just really, really cheap, like quickly sewn. Like it wasn't even like sewn together all the way. So when I went to put it on, it just ripped every single seam that was loose off. I ended up having to sew it together with my sewing machine, and I was so worried that something else was going to rip off of it that I literally re-sewed every single seam on the costume. So at that point, I might as well have just made the costume myself because I ended up spending a lot of time that week trying to fix it. Luckily for me, I tried it on at home before the convention, so it did not rip in half while I was wearing it in the convention. But I have learned my lesson: do not buy cheap costumes and expect them to not rip in half. So yeah. Okay, so my second story is when I decided to do an original character. Now, I am not one of those people that does original characters, so this was really special to me. My favorite movie is actually Labyrinth, which is, the Jim Henson movie. It has David Bowie, it has Jennifer Connelly, and I was thinking in my head this year during the convention that I wanted to go as Sarah from Labyrinth if she became like the Goblin Queen. So like imagine like a sequel to Labyrinth and she gets to become like the cool bad like queen of Labyrinth. So I did all these sketches, I put together everything in my head, I created and sewed just this awesome glitter-tastic costume. I was so proud of myself. So the last part of the costume I needed were shoes, and I honestly in my head had no clue what to do. I was like, should I get boots? Should I get heels? Like, I'm not really sure what she would wear, so we decided to go walk around the mall and get some ideas. So we're in the mall and we go into Charlotte Russe, which is just this really cheap store. It's very girly. It's a great place to get cheap shoes, and they have like very trendy looking ones. So we go in there, and instantly I see the shoes that are perfect. They are these huge heels that are just covered in glitter and rhinestones, and they're so sparkly I could see them across the store because they were like glinting in the light. So I try them on, love them, and just buy them and bring them home. And I bring them to the convention with me. And the first thing you should know is that I'm already fairly tall. So when I wear heels, I always feel kind of awkward. I feel like giraffe-like because I'm like tall, and then suddenly I'm like almost too tall, like hovering over everyone. And the second thing is I don't normally wear heels. So like walking in them is kind of uncomfortable to me, but I try to get over it quickly. So I'm like putting on these shoes in the hotel room, walking around thinking, yeah, this is gonna be fine. Like these are pretty high stilettos, but they look awesome with the costume, and I'm willing to sacrifice my comfort for it. So we walked to the convention center, and then we wanted to go to the shopping hall first. So we went up, I think, 3 or 4 escalators. Once we get to the very top, just from going up the escalators, my feet are hurting so bad. And in my head, I'm thinking, okay, well, maybe I just need to walk around a little more and like get my feet bones like situated in these shoes. So we walk, and my feet are hurting worse and worse and worse. And I'm like asking my friends like, oh, hold up, I just need a break just for a second. I like stand off to the side and like take my shoes off and just stand in my bare feet. And for all you guys out there that don't know this, conventions really don't like it if you don't wear shoes. Most of them have banned that, like either you wear shoes or you don't go for hygiene purposes and such, and safety. So you can't really walk around without your shoes on. So I'm trying my best like just to make it through, but my feet are hurting like so bad. Like I would take maybe 5 steps and literally like start to feel my legs just like shaking in pain. And the shoes were just like, I don't know what it was, the angle of the heels, it being so high, like these were really tall shoes, was just not working out. And so I ended up having to take my shoes off, and then I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna go back to the hotel and meet everyone there. So I took my shoes off, and I'm holding like my purse in one hand, I'm holding my shoes in the other hand, and I'm trying to like hurry through the convention center in my bare feet because I don't want to get caught by like security or staff and like have them be like, oh man, put your shoes back on. So I'm like running there, and then I get outside and I'm like walking down the sidewalk in my bare feet in downtown Seattle, which is like disgusting. So walking on God knows what, and then get up to the convention center and realize, oh my God, that was such a bad mistake. I should have, I don't know, like tested them out longer, maybe walked around in public with them so I could have gotten a feel for what they actually feel like when you're wearing them for more than a few minutes. Learn from my mistakes. Don't do this with shoes. It was such a bad idea. Like, I can still remember the pain in my head. My feet like cringe at this pain. So now that we've gotten through my costume fails, let's get on to the good stuff, which is the cringy stuff that I've done at conventions. And I'm not gonna lie, I have done the normal cringy stuff that every new cosplayer does, like taking pictures of people without asking. And like, I think back and think, why did I do that? But there's certain things like cosplay etiquette that you learn along the way. And I'm really glad I know now, and I'm really good, like, people, you know, they tell you like, hey, if you see Sailor Moon walking down the hallway, ask if you can take a picture of her. Don't take a picture of her with her back turned to you, because that's weird. Like, stuff like that I do know now. But these situations are situations I got in just because of my own stupid self. So the first one was going to the masquerade ball. And every Saturday, I think it's Saturday night, they have a masquerade ball at the convention. So you just need to wear a ball gown or tux, and you have to wear a masquerade mask, and that's like the only requirements. A lot of people go with dates. I typically would just go with my group of girlfriends, and we'd just go and be goofy and like dance together and whatever. None of us were very good at ballroom dancing. So like sometimes they play fast music, sometimes they play slow music, you know, they have like a theme every year. It's just fun. So my one friend who was with us, as a quick note, is bi. So she likes girls, she likes men, whatever, everyone in between. So as we're like dancing in our little group of friends, whatever, I notice off to the side of the dance floor, there is a girl in a tux who's been watching my friend all night. And I'm thinking like sneaky in my head, like, oh, that girl is interested in my friend. And she's been like watching her all night. And so I'm thinking like, me and my other friends have been like with her all night, so maybe the other girl is too awkward or embarrassed to like approach all of us, like we're intimidating. So I keep trying to push my friend. I'm like, hey, you should go talk to that girl. She's been watching you all night. Like, maybe she's into you. So my friend's like, I don't know, like maybe, we'll see. My friend's not very like, doesn't like to approach strangers. So finally, my dumb self goes up to this girl and I'm like, hey, would you like to dance with my friend? She has been watching you and would like to dance with you. And this girl's like, okay, like just seems polite and nice. So they go to the dance floor and they dance, and they're over on like this side. And then me and my friends are like over on this side of the dance floor, like trying to give them some room. And they're dancing, whatever, we can see they're talking. And then maybe like 10 minutes go by and the girl just like walks away and then just leaves the masquerade. And my friend comes over and she's walking towards us and she has this look on her face like, get me out of here. And she looked really sad and very like something cringy had happened. And so we're like pestering her about it, like, what happened? And she's like, no, I'll tell you guys later, like not here. So eventually we get bored and we leave the masquerade. We're walking back to our hotel and my friend tells me this girl on the dance floor is like dancing with her and they're like talking like, hey, what's your name, blah blah blah, or are you here with friends, like whatever. And she can tell this girl is really uncomfortable and like doesn't want to be dancing with her. And so my friend is asking her what's up, and this girl is like, I'm sorry, but I'm not a lesbian. And like, it was so awkward. And I guess like they both didn't even know what to say to that. So the random girl just like walked away from her and then left without saying anything. And I'm sitting there thinking, oh my God, okay, apparently playing matchmaker with strangers is not my specialty. And now I feel really bad because I also put my friend like in an awkward spot and I had no clue. So yeah, don't do that. It's a bad idea. Don't assume things about people. I mean, I guess to be fair, the strange girl could have said something to me like, oh no, I'm not really into girls, or no, I don't want to dance with your friend, but she never did. But at the same time, I don't know. Maybe I was too hyper and intimidating. So my last story is one I've saved because gosh, it's so cringy, and I feel embarrassed like saying this story because I know this person is out there somewhere and they probably remember it and cringe about it. And so yeah, let's just get into this story. So pretty much, as you guys know, love Labyrinth, huge Labyrinth fan. Every year at con, it was kind of like my goal, my mission, that I wanted to find a Jareth cosplayer I could take a picture with. And there had only been a few times where I'd even seen one, and I'd always see them like really far away in the convention, and I'd try to like find them, but by the time I got to their location, they were already gone. So it was like this wild goose chase. So I don't know, I got it into my head, like, this is my mission, I want to get a picture with one of them, it's gonna happen. So, we're walking in the shopping hall one day, and I'm at a booth looking at something, and I turn to look, and I see behind me that there is actually, like, I'm standing like this, and there's like a Jareth cosplayer directly behind me, face the other way at a different booth. And so I look over, and I'm like, and so my friends, I'm like pushing them, and I'm like, hey, look who's behind us, I have to get a picture with him. And they're all like, okay, yeah, let's go ask. So I turn around and I'm like, hey, I love your costume, can I get a picture with you? And the guy's like, sure, why not? So we go over to the end of the hallway shopping area, and we're up against a wall, and like he puts his arm around me, and I'm all like, you know, making a goofy face, whatever. And so anyways, he like takes this picture with me, and then I'm like thanking him afterwards and being like, oh, thank you so much, I'm so glad I got a picture with you. And my friends start talking about Labyrinth, and like, oh yeah, she really loves Labyrinth, like, you know, saying stuff like that. And the guy's like looking at them and then looking at me, and then he goes, I'm not dressed as someone from Labyrinth. And I'm like, oh, are you not Jareth? And he says, no, I'm not. And he was actually dressed as a character from some anime. And I am just standing there like, oh my God, I don't know what to say. I did not think this would happen. To be fair, he had the tight, you know, breeches, like pants, and then the loose white flowy shirt, so like it looked exactly like it. And so like seeing him, that's what I thought he was. Like he was wearing the exact outfit that Jareth wears minus the coat. He even had the blonde mullet on and the spiked hair, but no, he was a character from an anime, and I had just embarrassed myself, and I could tell he was embarrassed too, and he walked away. And I thought, you know what, I bet he's gonna go back to his hotel and he's gonna change out of that costume and he's gonna hate me forever. And I was just so embarrassed. And it's funny too, because I've actually heard of this happening a lot to people, but it's just never happened to me personally until then. I'm usually really, really good about like talking to people about their costume before I take a picture. Like I'll be like, oh, I love your whatever costume, your avatar costume or whatever, and they'll be like, oh, thanks, you know, or talking about their character. This was the one time I did not mention their character before I took the picture. So yeah, let's just say I was a little more than embarrassed, and my friends thought it was hilarious. I didn't think it was hilarious, I just felt stupid. So yeah, that's my story time for today, and man, these stories keep getting longer and longer. I really like to talk a lot. So anyways, thanks everyone for listening and hearing out my cringe and pain and awkwardness. So I'll be back for more stories and talk to you guys soon. So anyways, see you later.